The Outdoor Show. It's the program that puts you into the peaceful and beautiful home of Mother Nature. It moves you back to that calm fishing pond up north, one step away from Lake Michigan, or into your hunting blind on a brisk fall morning. The Outdoor Show. It's a peaceful program. This is not your mother's outdoor show. This is the WHTC Outdoor Show, hosted by a guy who literally has hunting in his name. Tom Medendorp is Dutch for Village in the Maiden, or King's Hunting Ground. Your co-host, sometimes, is Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery. It's time for what really happens when the guys go up north on that hunting trip. It's time for the WHTC Outdoor Show, presented by My Firearms ETS. That's MI Firearms ETS on 1450 WHTC, Holland's news leader.
Good morning. Welcome to the Outdoor Show. I'm Tom Medendorp. My sometimes co-host, Captain Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery, is here today.
Yeah.
What? Well, that's pretty awesome. But we're here with Bob Coles, which is even more awesome, from MOA Gunsmithing.
That's as good as it gets.
Oh, always glad to be here.
That's why I came.
We're here with Bob. I mean, it's as good as it gets because it's right on, dead on, all the time.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
So, Captain Tim,
Thomas,
you're back.
You got it. I'm back. I got to be honest. I've been back the last 2 weeks. I've just been waiting for. Bob's on the radio. Oh, I'm back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No. I sailed in. I sailed in Saturday morning. Get that, Captain?
Sailed
Tim?
in.
Yeah. So,
Boom.
So what does it take to earn your propellers to be a captain?
I don't know yet. I just got the card saying it's okay. No propellers yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that class was not fun. But it's done. It's behind.
Did they make you actually drive a boat?
Nope.
Simulated?
Nope.
Video games? Anything?
Well, I mean, that's what I did most of the class. That's probably why I had a hard time. But no, it was a great class.
Right now, everybody's going, "Hey, where can I take that class?" Tim passed.
Yeah,
right.
Tim passed, and he played video games. No, it was just a lot of classroom time, and you had to sit through, listen to everything, remember things. That's my problem.
Well, were you able to do any prep things like?
Yeah, there is online courses you can take. You can go through, listen to Neil talk on it, who's one of the owners of U.S. Captains Training, who I took it through.
Okay.
And and then you can take online quizzes to prepare you, and then really, if you spent a long time on your own doing it, you could just take the quizzes, take the final test online per chapter. There's 4 chapters. You can go in, show them your certificate of completion, and take the test right in front of them. You could be done in one day. Not many people can do that.
Oh.
Well,
and in fact, I think there's only been one that's done that.
You don't spend a lot of time on anything, so I'm just curious how much it cost you.
It was worth it, every penny.
Okay, so how much does it cost a regular guy to take the class?
I think it's $1,200.
And then they go through the class. How many hours?
I think it was 11 days.
11 days?
Yeah, 8 to 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see where you'd be going out of your mind.
Especially me.
That's what I'm talking about, you.
But I'll tell you what, the teacher was excellent. I had 3 other, I guess you'd call them classmates, and we all got along great. It was good to see 2 of us were fishermen.
Okay.
One of them was a sailor who's now sold his home here, and he's moving to Florida, and he wanted to get his intercoastal and everything so he can just sail, him and his wife. And it was awesome. I'm not a sailor, and it was really neat to talk to him and see the different lifestyles of people. And I'll tell you what, sailing, that's a lifestyle. That's
really?
Not just let's have fun with it. That's a lifestyle.
It's pretty amazing. 11 days, and you haven't picked up the accent. Hey, matey,
Yeah.
to mainsail.
Yeah. Well, I left that in Canada.
Eh?
No, I've definitely had a very fun and eventful life the last month. Seen a lot of stuff, been a lot of places, drove way too many miles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Time to get back to work, Tim.
I've been to work all week.
No, it's time to get back to work, Tim.
Every day this
you
week.
You returned, but
Yes.
it's time to get back to work.
I agree. No, we caught a lot of fish. Wildlife was sparse up in Canada this year.
Really?
Yeah, everything is almost ahead of what it normally is, where normally we're behind. Winter stays late.
Yeah.
Everything's turning out, especially for this year's bear season up there, which end of August I'll be up there doing that, by the way, Tom.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. But the bears, I saw very few bears because they were back in the woods, back in the bush. But we saw quite a few moose, and I saw quite a few moose from the boat. So that was really neat,
nice.
seeing that. Yep. But I had some of the biggest fish on I've ever caught. I had one pike up right next to the boat, and all we could do was look down at it. And, my father-in-law's holding the net, and he looks down at it, and he says, this isn't happening. This isn't going in there. That was a very, very large pike. I had him on for a while, and then he realized he was hooked and took off, and there it was. That was it. All I had was that image. But I had him on for a while, and he didn't put up any fight, and he was right up next to the boat, and my father-in-law was looking down with the net saying, there's nothing I can do. So he's looking for a boga grip to hook his jaw.
Yep.
And then he took a sound down, and it was my own fault. I should have had the anti-reverse on the reel ready to go instead of just the drag. And when he took off, it was a second. I couldn't see him anymore, and then snap.
Oh, bugger.
That one would have gone on the wall. I honestly think he would have gone 50 inches.
Wow.
Nice.
That was big.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I was just thinking, did I ever tell you my little brother's story about when he went fishing in Canada and he got to see bear and moose? So they did it a little bit differently. They traveled up, a lot of driving on the old 2 tracks.
Back then,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had their boats with them, and then they put the boats in the water, and then you could follow different chains of lakes to go different places.
River systems and all that.
Yeah, they had gone quite a ways up. Him and his buddy that he went with, and they get up there and they travel those lakes, and then they're going to stop for a shore lunch. So they stop along the shore, and they make a little fire to cook some lunch. And lo and behold, a bear comes walking out of the woods. So they go and jump in the boat, of course, because the bear comes walking out because he wanted their food.
That bear had some good eating.
Yeah.
They left everything there.
Yep.
What are you going to take? You get out of there. Mm-hmm. So they left it all there. And then they went across the lake, and on the other side of the lake, there was like a rock wall going up. So they decided to climb up the rock wall. Well, they're on that side. And as my younger brother came over the top of the wall, he saw this big brown thing right in his face, and it went.
I'd have been swimming right around then.
But he hung on, and it was a moose standing there with his nose right in his face.
Bull or a cow? Not that it matters. They're huge.
It was a bull.
Oh, crap.
But he turned around and he started trotting away.
Yep.
Well, there was a railroad grade up at the top. So he climbs over the wall.
This is starting to sound like a joke now.
Yeah.
No. He climbs over the top and he starts following this moose running down. He's running down the railroad, below the railroad grade, chasing a moose. And his buddy climbs up on top of the railroad grade because it's got a pretty steep grade there, but he gets up top and he's running along saying, "Get up here."
Yeah.
Because he wasn't thinking about the fact that moose could turn around.
Oh, yeah.
And, I red hatchet.
Them things are dangerous, man. There's no playing with them.
Yeah, and they're huge.
Yeah. Oh,
Huge. Yeah. That's, to come nose to nose with a moose.
Oh, yeah.
That'd just be something.
Yeah.
That would just be something right there.
That'd be... the closest I've had them is probably about 5 yards, but I was up in a tree, and I was only about 7-8 foot up, and I was bear hunting, and I had about a 50-inch moose.
You could still go nose to nose.
You know it. And he was coming across, and he was looking to go right underneath my stand, and I'm looking at him, and I got it on video, and I'm looking at him, and sizing him up. I'm like, this isn't going to happen. His head's going to be right on my feet.
Oh, goodness.
I stomped the platform, and I thought, okay, like a whitetail, he'd take off running, and he went back about 30 yards and turned around and looked at me. I thought, well, I guess I'm out of my element here. But Canada it's great to be back in the U.S. I won't lie about that. There's no better place than here in the whole world. But it is really entertaining to see Canada, see the actual bush end of Canada. There's stuff you'll never see.
Did you see any wolves?
Nope, never saw a wolf this year.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep,
that's a
never saw
bugger.
wolf.
Yeah.
Because if I ever get the chance to go enjoy, 4 weeks of fishing in Canada, I certainly hope that I see every different type of wildlife.
Yeah.
You know
what you see
wolves.
a ton of in Canada? Fox.
Really?
Everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, you see a lot of those. This year I never saw one.
Well, the question would be, like, in a territory here at home, if the coyotes come in, the fox leave.
Fox leave, yeah.
Well, you go where there's wolves. If the wolves come in, the coyote leave.
No, if the wolves come in, everything leaves.
Yeah.
Well, my question would be, do the fox and the wolves have much of a conflict? And do the fox then stay because the wolves are in the area, which then, coyotes aren't coming?
And I guess I really don't know how to answer that, but I have seen coyotes or fox and wolves in the very same location, but
It would
days
just be
apart.
a curiosity. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to watch more PBS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Sure.
And
That's where I get all the stuff that I get stuck
Yeah.
up there.
nothing wrong with that.
Oh, okay. That
that's-
explains the sleep thing this morning.
Yeah.
Sleep cycles. You weren't here yet.
He was educating us on sleep.
I bet he was.
You only need 2 hours. That's it.
No. You get by with that hour and a half.
Oh, yeah?
That's because Caitlin's just really exhausted.
Yeah. Not this guy. 14 hours, mandatory.
14 hours. Now, that's a long time to sleep.
I wasn't fishing in Canada. I was sleeping.
Yeah.
That explains why you didn't get a tan.
Yeah.
Huh.
Dude, I don't know. I am looking just beautiful right now with this tan I got.
Wow.
I'm proud. My hands are peeling, and it looks like I got something wrong with me, but that's all right.
I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah, I know.
was gonna say something,
I saw the
and-
wheels
and
turning up there.
I
That
gotta be
rodent
nice.
was running.
Right.
After 5 weeks of not seeing you, you texted me yesterday. You weren't even in my phone anymore. I needed to know who that was.
Who is this, and why do you want to know? You said.
He sends me a text. So what are we talking about tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right? And I
Yeah,
said,
something like that.
I sent him one back. Who is this, and why do you want to know?
But didn't you end up saying I win?
I win?
Yeah.
Oh,
Meaning I win.
I conceded.
You conceded, yes.
I conceded. I said I give up. Let me see. I'm going to go back to it.
I got it.
I'm going to look at it. You got it?
Oh, and then we were talking about being gone for a month fishing, and you said, I hope someday I can feel what that feels like. And I said, you should try it. Enjoy life before it passes us by. Words of the Day by Tim Becker.
Yeah. Him and his words of the day.
You bet. I had a lot of downtime to think.
What are we talking about on the radio tomorrow? Who are you and why do you want to know? That's how I responded.
Then my response was, oh, nobody then. Don't worry about it. And he says, yeah, we got Bob on. I'm like, oh, never mind. That's Tim. I'll be in.
He puts on there, I am the talent.
Yes.
That comes from Tim. I
Yes.
am the
Who
talent.
are you? I said, I am the talent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then he says it's really cool, and he says everything I do is really cool.
You bet it. You know it. No, what a great
Unbelievable.
trip. Both trips, I went to Rice Lake and caught a bunch of bluegill, but both trips were with just some wonderful, fun people, and
Nice.
I'd do it anytime.
Awesome.
Yep.
The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Westenbrook Mower, where they service what they sell. All units are ready to use when they leave the store, and Westenbrook submits your warranty information so you don't have to. Stop into the Holland or the Jenison store. Check them out on your computer at westenbrookmower.com or call them at 616-396-5733. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on the Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Michigan Firearms, your personal protection and concealed carry specialists. We're back, ready to talk with you. Give us a call, 395-1450. And if we missed your call, give us a call back, please. I can see you were stressed over that, Tim.
I was.
That's because we're concerned about our listeners.
You bet. You bet.
It's who we are.
They had something to say,
Yeah.
positive
Well,
or negative towards me.
that's
They still had
It's
something
who
to
I
say.
am, but
Yeah.
you're sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. True. No, so if we missed your call, please give us a call back.
We can tell you don't really care because you're not here for 5 weeks in a row.
Holy cow. 4.
Wow.
Maybe it was 5.
Memorial Day, dude.
That's right. Hey, wait. We attempted to record that
We
one.
attempted to.
Hey, you
Attempted
can't hold
to.
me responsible. Dan.
Oh, call him out, too.
You bet. You bet.
Anyhow, with Bob Coles here, we want to talk a little bit about different things and trends and so on, gunsmithing-wise.
Yeah.
We want to talk about being right on, dead on all the time.
And he is the gunsmith.
I should have said that differently. I
Yep.
should have said right on, dead on, all the time.
Boom.
Nice.
You
So,
bet.
we're going to get to the woodchuck hunting and what it takes to, what kind of guns you should use, what it takes to make those shots. But with gunsmithing-wise, you do quite an array of work.
Yeah, I do.
And you work on a lot of unique things.
Yep.
And we particularly like using your services because of your detailed work that you do.
Right.
You're very particular.
Yep.
Precision, very particular about it. So what we want to do is kind of let the people know some of the stuff that you do, because coming up, they're going to have things done before hunting seasons begin, and everybody always forgets until, the day before.
Right.
And then they say, hey, can you fix this?
Yeah.
And then they go to anybody. Well, we want you to plan ahead, and we want you to go see Bob, because you're going to be very pleased with the work that Bob does.
Very pleased.
Oh, appreciate it. Well, when I work on customer
We're
guns...
just working you over, Bob.
I know. I love it. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah.
So when a customer brings a gun in and I work on it, I don't just parts change, put things together, production line, get it out. Those guns are treated like my guns. So if it doesn't fit right, if it's not perfect, if it doesn't function good, let's talk about glass bedding. I'd bed them like they're my guns. So if it's not done right, perfect, I redo it till it is right.
Explain glass bedding.
That's when you use epoxy bedding in the stock, and then you press in the receiver. So the receiver's metal, stock is either composite or wood, and then you squeeze the two together. After it dries and hardens, and there is a process here with release wax and all that kind of stuff, but we won't get into that.
Yep.
When you separate the two, it's like putting your fist in some clay. The impression is identical.
So it's form-fitted.
It is.
At that point.
So that way, when things are bolted down and torqued to proper specs, nothing moves.
Okay.
So when you take the shot, the round goes off, the receiver doesn't move back at all, doesn't move sideways, doesn't twist. Everything is stable and rock solid.
Returns to
consistent
zero. Yeah.
You don't want any movement. Movement's bad.
Hence your website, knowyourzero.com.
That's right. That's right.
So the glass bedding, when you say the glass bedding, it's kind of tough sometimes for people who don't know. I know when I first had no idea what it meant to bed that gun.
Yeah.
What the heck why would you put glass in a gun?
Yeah, and glass.
So it's more like
bedding
fiberglass because it's an epoxy.
Well, that's an old term, glass bedding.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think anybody glass beds. It's an epoxy now.
Yeah.
Everything is epoxy. Different types, different forms, but essentially you're talking epoxies that you mix up the components. And once you prep the wood or the stock and you prep the metal and, of course, mold release, don't ever forget to use mold release. Or it's not coming apart.
Yeah.
It will be bonded forever.
You welded it. Yeah.
So when you get it all form-fitted so nothing moves.
Yep.
Hence, you take your first shot, your second shot, you're going to still be there.
If you do your part and everything else is done correctly,
The gun will be
the gun
there.
won't move and shift. I just bedded a receiver in a stock for a customer, and I couldn't believe the gaps that were in this production stock. It took quite a bit of bedding to fill up the void so that everything fit nice and it was a good tight fit.
Okay.
But there's things that run through the production line that come off an assembly line. They're made for the masses, and they're made for speed and production. So they're not going to be precise fit and a tight bedding.
Well, one stock might fit several receivers, right?
No. I mean, each stock is inlet for a particular receiver. If you've got
Okay.
a Winchester Model 70 and Tim has a Remington 700,
Okay.
those are different inlets. You can't switch them.
Okay.
But when they make a production stock for a Remington 700, it's opened up enough where it would fit any 700 receiver that's made.
Yeah. It's built to a spec,
Okay,
right?
that's,
Instead
I
of
guess
to
that's what I'm
that
saying.
action.
Any 700 would
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
into that
And there's-
stock,
yeah, and there's-
which means there'd be gaps in there
Flop.
for the different ones that come in. And those gaps are what's getting filled up with the glass bedding or the epoxy.
Yes. Yep.
Well, what you're doing more or less is cradling that stock to that firearm then, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Making
Along with that, you
sure-
put pillar blocks
Pillar
in
blocks in it, yeah.
to keep the
And points if needed.
metal to metal contact, and you're not compressing wood. And so those are all different points you do to strengthen up the stock receiver and to lock it all in.
This makes me think about when we would custom fit our muzzleloader stocks to our muzzleloader.
Yeah, there you
action.
go.
It's not as complicated as far as the action and stuff like that. We're getting the trigger group in there and, and getting the getting the barrel all fitted so it sets nicely without gaps.
Yeah.
Because you can get some really horrific stocks when you buy different stuff to put together.
Yeah.
Now, let me try to say this in an easy term, and maybe I'm wrong. Without glass bedding and a stock being oversized for the gun or something bad like that, doesn't matter how good your scope is because that barrel moves when you shoot, right?
Oh, yeah. It's barrel whip.
So, barrel whip.
Nodes of vibration.
So if you don't have that bedded, it could be at 0, you shoot, and it could be at 2 or something like that, where it's not going to return back to center.
It will move.
And that's what you're allowing for, is for it to stay right at 0.
Right. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
The general term is to free float a barrel.
Yep.
Occasionally, if they don't want to come around and behave, then you pressure point a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
You always start with free float. If that doesn't work, then you go to pressure point, which is a system of applying pressure at different points along the barrel till you tune the nodes of harmonics down to flat 0, and then you're good.
Lost me.
That's okay. We'll get you back in a moment. Farmers Co-op Elevator in Hudsonville is your food plot headquarters with over 40 different seed varieties to choose from, providing in-house soil testing as well as fertilizers, lime, and equipment to plant, maintain, and get maximum performance out of your food plot. Visit the Farmers Co-op at 3302 Prospect Street in Hudsonville. For a complete list of products and services, check them out online at fcelevator.com. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Brought to you by Powderhorn Guns and Archery for all your arrow knocking, gun cocking, fish hooking, flag waving, stand up and sing, God bless America hunting and fishing needs. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We're back ready to answer your questions right here on The Outdoor Show.
Still didn't learn to whistle.
He's back. You'd think all that time you had in Canada, you'd learn how to whistle.
Catching way too many fish to do that. I couldn't be here the last 2 weeks because I couldn't move my arms.
2 weeks.
I can't talk without my arms.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I just didn't want you to know that.
Couldn't be here the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, the first 2 weeks I was fishing. All right, maybe not. Maybe I was fishing last month. Whatever.
All you got to do, it's funny because when he starts to tell you a lie, you just look at him.
Oh,
all right, I'm lying.
He gives up. He gives up. I learned that from his dad.
Oh, okay.
Great. Thanks, Dad.
Nice.
You just give him that look, and he's like, "Okay, you caught me.
Yeah.
I'll give up the truth." We've got a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Who are we talking to?
This is Ron.
Ron, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm doing good. Up bright and early. Good morning, Tim, and good morning, Tom. And Tim, welcome back.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, we missed you.
Oh,
Not
I
really,
appreciate
but thought I'd throw it out there.
Cool.
He called in while you were gone. That's not what he said.
Oh.
No. Hey, today I just wanted to mention that a local chapter of the Holland Steelheaders is having a youth fishing tournament.
Okay.
Out over, I believe it's Yacht Basin Marina.
Yeah, Kids
Ottawa
and
Beach.
Kings or something like that?
Yep.
Kings and Kids? Yeah, it's...
Yep, exactly. My program, Just a Chance, I sponsored for 4 youth to go out there, and we got those children up bright and early this morning, and my son, Daniel, who's 18 years old, is the chaperone out there on one of the boats today out on the big lake. So we got kids out for the first time. I think these guys that are doing this, putting this program on, are the best guys around to introduce youth and family to fishing, especially taking them out on the big lake, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what time are they coming back in to weigh in?
Weigh-in, I believe, is at 1 o'clock, so they'll be heading in somewhere after 12 to 12:30. And I believe the gentleman told me weigh-in will be at the DNR weigh scale over there. And
by the DNR cleaning station.
The cleaning station,
across the road from the launch.
Right. So somewhere around 1 o'clock, they'll be doing all that fun stuff. But they're out there now on that big lake.
Nice.
Having a good old time, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Ron. So people can come and see the weigh-in at 12:30 to 1?
Yep.
That's correct.
Right around
Yep.
there, that time, get there, and they'll be able to see the weigh-in that goes on when they come back with the kids.
Right. And also, I believe out at Yacht Base Marina, there's a water safety event going on out front over there this morning.
So they could swing on by early and check that out, too.
Exactly. So there's a lot of stuff happening along our lakeshore this morning.
Awesome.
And Tim's in town to enjoy some of it, too.
You got it.
Not wasting our American dollars up north, huh?
Oh,
Hey, we're worth more right now.
Tim doesn't feel like he wastes our American dollars. He goes and he gets it exchanged, and then he feels like he's spending Canadian dollars.
You got it.
That's just the way he thinks.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you very much, Ron. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. And God bless you guys. Have a good day.
You too,
Bye-bye.
buddy. So head on over there to Yacht Basin Marina and check out see the weigh-in with the kids and kings and check it out over at they're actually doing the weigh-in by the DNR cleaning station, which is across from the boat launch. So get on out there and check that out if you're looking to see some fish this morning.
Yep.
Big ones.
Nice.
Anyhow, we were talking about Bob, with the glass bedding and stuff. That was something we were talking about, particulars, and that we like the fact that you're particular with our guns like you are with your own.
Right.
Well, exactly how he said it. He treats them like he would treat his own.
Right.
And it's not just a production line to get it done, and that's awesome.
Right.
Right.
Everything comes back 150%.
And that's what we look for.
Yep.
But what kind of other things do you have? You've got some dealerships that you work directly with and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got quite a few companies that I'm hooked up with dealerships with. The two latest ones I picked up were Bluegrass Stocks out of Kentucky and Rock Solid Industries. Rock Solid Industries mainly makes mounts and components for rifles, and Bluegrass does stock work, and they do some welding work and some fab work. Those two companies are centered around the Mosin Nagant rifle. I picked one of those up and just started dabbling with that, and I'm gonna tear it all down, and it won't even look like a Mosin Nagant when it's finished. But that's some of the stuff I do with 300 below freezing. I've been with that, and of course the Leatherwood optics, trying to get that line recognized. But with the Mosin Nagants, that's just a lot of people look at them. They're goofy looking. The back of the receiver split open because the bolt goes up, slides through there. But there's a lot of fabrications and a lot of things you can alter on them and really turn them around. Just make them a fun gun. Leave them at the 7.2 54R cartridge, which is kind of like a toned down .6.
The 7.62, right?
Yes.
7.62 54R.
Yep.
So it's the same diameter as having a 308.
308. Well, this is a little bigger. This is 311 diameter. Yeah. 308's 308.
Is it the same casing as an odd 6?
No.
No.
It's a rimmed case. Looks like a 30-30 with a big rim on it.
Okay.
It's a little longer than that. But the bullet diameter is, 0.311.
It's 0.311. That's
Yeah.
what that comes out to. So it's that rim on there. It's very distinctive when you see that rim on the back of the cart casing. So that, that's for seating and ejecting,
extraction and headspace. Yep.
Okay. So you work with those guys to do the stuff with the Mosin Nagants.
Yep.
And do these rifles, do they shoot good out of the box?
No, any surplus military guns are not made to just stack them on top of each other. They do make match target ones, but if you're just getting general field use Mosin Nagant that you're going to pay $100 for, you used to pay $100 for, now a little more than that. They're looking at, if you can shoot an 8-inch group, because they're looking at just shooting the enemy, eliminating the opposing force. So you have to do a lot of work with them if you want to get them to drill tacks. A lot of receiver work, a lot of bolt work.
Probably why you got interested in them then, huh?
Yeah, because it's like, what can I do with this thing, and I'm going to kind of do some photos and write on my blog just from start to finish and show you what the military gun looks like. And then as I go through the welding work that's done, the fab work, if this barrel slug's good and it's true, then I'll probably what's called sleeve it or straight jacket the barrel, where you actually put a larger diameter tube over the barrel, fill it with a type of epoxy, stiffen it up, and once again we'll tone out the nodes of vibration to settle down the harmonics.
Okay.
That's only if the barrel is good. Otherwise, it's coming off, and I'll put something else on.
Okay. So what I was leading to, if that's an 8-inch group, that's not really good for woodchuck hunting.
No.
What should somebody find if they want to go? We had Josh on here last week with one of his other buddies, and they talked about the woodchuck hunting. They've been pretty successful so far with woodchuck hunting this summer. We had Bill out in Borculo give us a call, and he was explaining where the alfalfa is where you're going to find the woodchucks and so on. And he also confirmed for us that the farmers want to get rid of the woodchucks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because of the destruction they cause and the equipment damage and the cost there is involved, and
livestock damage.
Well, there's we need to do a population control on them, just
Right.
like you would on muskrats in waterways and everything else, because of what the damage they cause. And they're just, they're doing their thing, and we're doing our thing, but we have to get a balance in there.
Right.
So, if somebody wanted to get into doing this in order to get in tune for the deer season, could they use their .6? Could they use a 25-06? Their 30-06 for their 25-06? Could they use a 243? Could they use just different things they could use that they may already have that would work well? So I'm just curious, what would be best? Because with woodchucks, 100 yards, that's a not bad spot to be.
Right.
But it doesn't happen that often because they see you from a distance and they go whoop and they're gone.
Yep.
So a 200 or a 300 yard shot.
Yep.
What might they want to use that they might have in the cabinet?
Anything 22 center fire and up will work
22
fine.
center fire and up. So 22 250.
Oh yeah.
223.
220 Swift, 223. Then you get up into your 6mm, your 25-06. Is really anything. If you want to practice for whitetail season and shoot some chucks with your 7 mag, you can do it.
Fun.
I hope you don't develop a flinch from all the shooting and stuff you're going to do, but you can do that, and it will help tighten your groups up, because when them chucks lay flat,
You're narrowing
there
down.
is not a whole lot of distance from the ground to their back.
So when you're learning to tighten your group up, you're going to do better on getting whitetail.
Oh, yeah.
When the time comes time to harvest them in the
For sure.
fall.
Yeah, you're going to get your breathing down, your trigger control, your finger position on the trigger, all that stuff.
Best thing to do is bring that whitetail rifle to Bob, let him accurize it, and
Yeah, I've had plenty of customers have me shoot their guns and dial them in, and when I give them back to them, they are right on
dead on.
Dead on.
all the time.
All the time. Well, let's when we come back, let's talk a little bit about what we can do to those rifles to get them dialed in.
Yeah, yep.
Using them on woodchucks would make it much better, or makes you more precision shooter.
Right.
But let's talk about a couple of those things when we come back. The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Advantage Marine in Zeeland, with competitive prices and personalized service to meet all your needs. Repair, storage, winterizing, parts, and more. Call Advantage Marine in Zeeland at 616-748-9235, or stop in and see Dave at 8755 Riley Street in Zeeland. That's at the corner of 88th and Riley on the northeast side of Zeeland. The lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to The Outdoor Show, brought to you by MI Firearms ETS, educating people in the safe and responsible use of firearms since 2001. Find us on your computer at mifirearmsets.com. You know, I absolutely love coming in here and chit-chatting with you guys, and I really wish that I could remember to bring you a Biggby.
Bob and I wish you would.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yep.
I mean, they named one after me.
No, they
did?
didn't.
Sure they did.
You're so full of it.
Hey, go ask them.
I don't have to. I know.
No, just go ask them.
They didn't name anything.
I went across the road and introduced myself.
Because you finally figured out it was there.
It's true. It's true.
I had to explain to him that there was one when I explained that there's one at Chicago Drive and Waverly.
Right.
And then I explained to him there's one on Douglas. He says, Where on Douglas? I said, across from D&W. He says, where? What?
I'm there a lot.
We can see he's sometimes the owner of Powderhorn Guns and Archery,
Right.
too.
They did. They made one after me. Ask them for the Captain Red.
The Captain
Captain
Red?
Red.
Captain Red.
I don't
Hot
think so.
chocolate with a cherry.
Boom.
I don't believe you.
Go ask.
I don't believe you.
Go ask.
I'm going to.
Call them right now.
Either way, if you haven't tried Biggby, give it a try.
Absolutely.
Yep.
If you think you've tried it, give it another try because Biggby coffees are awesome. I
got it.
absolutely love them.
And order up a Captain Red.
Captain Red.
Ask for a Captain Red. I want to know if this exists. Remember, folks, it's hot cocoa.
Man chocolate is what it's called.
Man chocolate.
Give me some of that hot cocoa.
Hey,
Yeah, when you go in and say, "Arr, I'd like me a Captain Red."
Matey.
Matey. Anyhow, back to the types of guns we can use and the things we can do to, would I say, accurize them
Yeah. Yep.
in order to narrow down that grouping,
Right.
make sure that we can get those woodchucks. If we can do that, we can be much more precise when it comes time to hunt the whitetail.
Yep. Let's. I'll use an example. A customer brought me in a rifle, and he just couldn't hit anything with it. He was trying to shoot chucks,
and this was
and
me.
just missing them
was
all the
me.
time. Could not hit them. And I said, "Yep, I'll look it over. I'll check it out." Well, what happened? It ended up just being the ring, scope mount rings were loose, not on the base, but the ones that hold the scope in place. So apparently,
So it was turning or shifting?
no, the scope wasn't moving. You couldn't move it by grabbing it. It wouldn't turn and it wouldn't pull back and forth.
Okay.
But everybody should have a torque wrench in their toolbox that has inch pounds. If you don't, run right out now to go, Tim, buy one. It's indispensable tool.
Inch pounds versus foot pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to torque
Yeah.
gun screws to foot pounds. Or you'd be coming to me to have them drilled out and retapped.
Yeah, don't use the
Which is okay, so maybe you should. Torque everything to 100 foot-pounds.
Oh,
Oh my God. You think the screws would even make it?
Yeah, no, I don't think
I don't
so.
think they'd make it. I think the heads will pop off.
Right.
long before
So-
that.
Yeah.
Inch pounds is what we want. It's much like we do in electrical work. We have a lot of stuff that's measured to inch pounds.
Right. Yep.
And inch pounds is much more precise than foot pounds.
Right. It's just a finer tune or smaller measurement of torque. Well, what happened was I went through the gun, checked it all over, and I found the scope ring screws were loose. They weren't tight.
Okay.
So one thing to do if you don't have a torque wrench, kind of the down and dirty way, you have an Allen wrench that's got the long part of the shaft and it turns, and you have the short part. So if you were to put the long part into the screw with the short part with between your forefinger and your thumb,
Yep.
and when you turn that and you get to where you can't turn it anymore, you're generally around 22 inch pounds. That's just a quick, dirty way. Okay, I got to get it tightened up. You need to check your ring screws. You got to make sure they're torqued down and tight. So I went through the gun and I torqued everything to 20 inch pounds on the ring screws. So those are the screws that clamp the scope down.
Okay.
If you go higher than that, you're going to start getting some compression marks. Some are really light. It's more like it doesn't dent the scope, but you can see the ring mark.
Okay.
And people spend big money on optics, and there's nothing worse than having a dented scope with the ring marks compressed too much. So you
That you
guys
paid
that just
good money
crank them
for.
down, if you turn the Allen wrench the other way, so you have the long throw for leverage,
Yep.
you are going to dent the scope.
So you use the long throw goes in. The short throw is the actual leverage that you want.
Yeah,
with your
if you don't
fingers.
have a torque wrench, that's kind of the quick, dirty way.
Yeah.
If you have
Now
your gun
you
to
have
you're
to
gonna
think
check
about
them.
this, folks, too. If I turn it or Bob turns it, we work with our hands every day. If we turn that thing
I know where this is going.
with the short, well, you think about it. Some people are going to turn on that. Some guys are using their hands. Farmers. If a farmer grabs hold of that thing and he turns it, number one, his hands are thick and strong, and he turns it. He's going to actually put a twist to the long throw, and he's definitely going to get more than 22 inch pounds out of it.
Yeah.
And if a 12-year-old is setting a scope, and he tries to turn it, he's not going to make it to 6-inch pounds.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Bob and I got working man hands, and Tim's got those, fishwater hands. And,
oh,
I thought you were going.
I was being nice today, Tim.
Well done. I apologize. No, you're right. I never thought about that before. That's good to say.
So having the torque wrench for inch pounds is invaluable.
Right.
It's invaluable to have that.
And easier on your hands.
Yeah, and Tim could set you up with one. They make one called a fat wrench. It has an assortment of bits. It's a very nice tool and a lot of uses on gun work.
That's at Powderhorn Guns and Archery, 127 North River.
Wow. Just look for the construction.
Oh, yeah, that's
just
right.
Look for the construction.
And that new building.
And you'll find Tim hiding behind it.
Yeah.
That new building going up, that's just the vault for all the money from your business, right?
I hope so. And in fact, they're putting 2 of them in.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we want to be careful with our optics.
Yes.
And that can really cause trouble.
It will. Yep.
Are there any other small things that people might want to think about or do? We're going to run out of time, so I just want to kind of make sure people know things they can do for using those different guns that they would use for whitetail to use them for the woodchucks.
Mainly, if you have a gun, if you have a 308 you like to shoot, you like to deer hunt with, and you want to go out and woodchuck hunt with it or do some varmint shooting with it, main thing is just to practice on your breathing, trigger control, finger placement, on the trigger. Make sure when you grab the pistol grip area, you got a nice little cup between the palm of your hand, and you don't need a death grip. Nice, gentle, easy grip, not a lot of cheek pressure. Just make sure you got a good solid hold, but you're not over torquing or squeezing on the gun.
Well, the stock is against your shoulder.
Yep.
The breathing steadies the stock.
Yep.
You don't have to squeeze the heck out of the pistol grip on the gun. You just have to get your hand in position to support.
Yeah.
Right?
A good example is if you want to check it, go out, nice gentle grip, take a shot. Next one, squeeze as hard as you can on the pistol grip, take a shot. It will not be in the same place. Just that wrist pressure of you squeezing will throw the shot.
Yeah. And that has all to do with kinesthetics and everything else of your muscles and how you're actually reacting when you make that shot. So
your muscles do relax, and you don't realize it, but the instant you touch that off, your muscles relax. Just nanoseconds, done. And it will throw a shot.
Yeah. Or even just, dry fire it and see where your scope alignment is on the target. It won't be in the same if you grip it hard.
Use a snap cap when you dry fire.
Yeah, so your firing pin doesn't extend too far.
Well, you don't want the firing pin to extend without hitting something. I mean, it's beating the tar out of the inside of the bolt, and it's bad, and it can shear a pin, but to do it repeatedly, I would say use a snap cap.
Snap caps are fun.
They are.
And remember, you're shooting out in 90-degree temperatures. Don't heat that barrel up too much.
Yes.
Don't burn that thing up.
Yeah, shoot slowly. You don't have to shoot every 10 seconds.
Right, especially the big bore guns are going to heat up fast. Yeah, real quick. You get a couple shots off, maybe 3, and it's going to be warm.
We're going to hear 300s going off in town now. I feel it.
Yeah, follow all the hunting rules. You have to have a small game license or base license in order to hunt the woodchucks during this time of year.
But there's no caliber restriction. That's the beauty.
No caliber restriction, and there's no season on them. It doesn't.
Really? That's
woodchucks are year-round.
Yep.
Nice.
Thank you for listening and participating in this week's show. We'll talk to you next time right here on The Outdoor Show.